Welcome to my channel. I'm the cover call guy. Today's video is just going to be more of a video I think is perfect for Sunday, rest day, and it's just a little bit more personal. Um, this video is just going to be talking about, to remember why you started investing, what brought you to start this journey, and these are some of the things that helped me stay grounded and stay on that it won't sway me, right? Nothing's gonna sway me from leaving this path of investing. Um, my journey might change a little because things change in life, right? I might not um, like this channel. I'm doing 100% cover call only, but I might do 3, 4, 5 years. I might do only 90% because I might need 10% to be in. I might need 10% to be in like single stocks or something, or I might need 10% in like bonds or something. But my journey to investing doesn't stop. Um, and, I just feel like this is going to be a more personal, more emotional kind of video. I feel like this Sunday is just, we're gonna just stay off a little bit of talking about stocks too much, or cover calls, or the yield max that is super popular, that's getting all the comments and likes. Well, this video is just more of like, stay true to yourself. Stay true to why you started, what you want in life, who you are, right? Don't be going too much into what others are saying. And yeah, don't stray from your journey. Remember why you started this, right? And for me, it was the great exhaustion, right? I was burnt out. I was ready to live life on my own terms, right? The 9 to 5 corporate lifestyle was draining me. Um, and I was just tired of it. I was just, I was already burnt out in my 20s, going to my 30s, and I was like, what is the point of all this? And you know, I just I just started to realize that I needed to change my focus, to change my mindset, and I wanted to build my own path in a way. I didn't want to be stuck to the 9 to 5. I didn't want to work that traditional 40-year, retire at 60, 65, or whatever age now, in the future that they might change it to. I didn't want to be stuck to an employer, having to ask for leave, or, use my sick time. I wanted to spend, like, the month I was working so hard for money, and spending all this time. I wanted to spend it however I want. I didn't want to stress about it, right? So I'm just gonna start this video. Part one, the diagnosis, quote unquote, the diagnosis. I feeling being trapped isn't just in your own head; it's actually in a dad. I wasn't the only one feeling like this. When you talk to your circles, your friend circle, right? You talk to your friends and family. You talk to your coworkers, right? I feel like the system was failing our time, well being, and wallets, right? It wasn't worth it anymore, right? And then, depending on where you live, the unpaid commute tax, right? 5.4 full work weeks stolen from your year. A study found in 2024 the national average commute is 26 minutes one way. If you depending on where you live, right? This adds up to 217 work hours of unpaid, high stress time that is stolen directly from your sleep, health, and family. For the 8% of the super commuters, this number balloons to over 500 hours annually, right? So, note, in large cities, this is far worse. If you live in a large city, right? For the majority, I'm saying, I'm speaking, Americans here, in the United States. In large cities, this is far worse. A 75-minute one-way commute, 900 hours a year, is equivalent of working 37.5 extra days unpaid. And I felt that, So I live in a large city myself, and I just felt like you were literally burning 2.5 upwards of 3 hours a day, 5 times a week, 30 days a day, 30 days a month for a whole year. And you're like, oh my God, it's just, it was painful. And it really made me think, right? As a young 20-year-old going into my 30s, it really made me think. And that's when I started to really dig into how could I create my escape, right? How could I kind of get out of this rat race, right? So essentially, it's a rat race. If you haven't seen the meme, it's basically, like you're trapped. It's like a little hamster, and you're just running on that wheel until you get exhausted, but you still can't get out, right? And I just felt that way. I know many people feel that way too. I know if you're a subscriber and you feel this way, welcome to my journey, and hopefully you start your own journey too. Hopefully this channel has helped you kind of educate yourself into um, kind of spark a little thought in your head to kind of create your own little escape, right? um, that makes me feel happy because I don't think anybody wants to be trapped in this system. um, right? Maybe those people that are like straight NPCs and just wake up, go to work, come home, and just repeat. And to me, that's sad. That's really robotic and unfulfilling in life. I don't think anybody wants that. Right, the burnout epidemic. I was part of these stats. I was on the grind. I was really pushing myself, burning myself out. You know, um, and these are just statistics that I found. Right, employee reality about 75% burnt out. Manager perception 89%. The managers think that at least 89% of their employees are thriving. Right, a 3 to 1 percentage gap. 89% of managers believe their employees are thriving, while 75% of employees report feeling burnt out. And like they say, at the end of the day, at a job, you are just a number, and you should really, really have that mindset that you are just a number. Because if something happens to you, they will replace you. They will replace you some jobs within a day, and some jobs within a week. And if they really care about you, within a month. And that's, if they care about you at all, right? You see it. You see how some of these people pass away. Something happens to them, and even during the same day that they pass, HR will put out a job posting on Indeed or whatever, LinkedIn, right? And they're gonna have that position filled as soon as possible. Send out and they're gonna send out an email saying, oh, thoughts and prayers, and they don't care. Neither should you. Why should you care? Why should you give a damn? At the end of the day, you're there, collect a paycheck, and plan your escape. Plan a way to get out. If you aren't planning, if you aren't planning, and you come across this video, I hope you start planning, because at the end of the day, you're an employee, right? You can get let go. Something can happen to you, and they replace you. You can't get the job back. Whatever it is, if it's not your business, stop caring about it so much. Just do enough to not get fired. Do enough so you can get your raise and your promotions, and start earning a little bit more, so you can start planning your getaway. There's no point. There's absolutely no point. You're wasting so much of your life for a company or for somebody that doesn't care. And that's the hard truth. Right, and then the stagnation trap, 1.4% real growth wave, real wage growth, falling behind. Right, at some point I felt this too. Right, this anemic gain means workers are barely outpacing inflation, especially in this high inflationary times right now that we are experiencing. Right, gaining only $10 to $15 more per week after a full year of stress and sacrifice. Right, and for those after decades of sacrifice. Right. And this validates the feeling of 80% of dissatisfied workers, right? Their pay is not keeping up with the cost of living. And this was what really drove me into thinking about, how can I pay myself first? How can I give myself a raise? Why would I take a 1.4% raise when I can give myself a 10, 15, 20% raise every paycheck? And that was one of the starting moments, the defining moments where I really started to switch my view of thinking away from the 401ks. Every time a government or an employer says it's in your best interest, it is not in your best interest. The most dangerous thing a government can say is that we're here to help you. They are not here to help you, right? If you depend on the government, you are absolutely screwed. You will be screwed. You can be living life, for the first 5-10 years great, and then it switches up on you, and now you're fully dependent. You are locking yourself in a cage and throwing away the keys. That's what you're doing. And it's depressing to think about, but it has to be thought about. It's something that it's something that every this thought has to come across somebody's mind once a week. If you are in that loop, right? If you're not making the salary you want to make, it's something like this has to come across your mind. I know a lot of people don't make the salary. They don't make it. You can see the stats. If everybody made the salary that they've wanted, right? There would be, the stats here wouldn't be showing that a lot of people are struggling paycheck to paycheck and not able to afford groceries. The rent is constantly stressing them out. So just something to think about. I think about this quite often, and every time I'm feeling like my investing journey has come to a a halt or kind of slowed down, I think about why I started, and this is one of the main reasons why. I give myself a 10-15% raise, 20% raise, 30% raise every year. I make about $70,000 estimated for my investments right now, and by the end of 2026, I want to add another 30 grand within that 1 year. You tell me what job can do that for you. What job allows you to be negotiating with your manager, be like, you know what, next year I want a 30 grand raise. There's no what ifs, but I need a 30 grand raise. How many jobs would actually be like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's sign this contract. Next year you get a $30,000 bump. And then when you sign that contract, you know what? In end of 2027, I want another 30 grand bump. You think which job? There are probably some jobs, but very few. I'm talking about generalization here, right? I'm talking about the majority. I'm talking about the 90% of the people, 90% of the jobs. Which job would actually give a damn about giving you a $30,000 raise every year? I can't think of any, but only investing and paying yourself first, giving yourself a raise. And then, this is the pivot, right? This is the psychological shift. This is where you acknowledge, part one is acknowledging, part two is actually doing. Realizing financial assets are a tool for buying back your time and mental health, right? So this is how you have to actually start it. Oh, I got cut off, damn. But the title says the 75,000 happiness. It's a myth, right? If you have your dream job of the study was like the $75,000 was like the dream salary for most people, but it's actually false. It's a myth. It's the happiness plateau, right? Debunked in 2024 with a research of 1.7 million people, shows well-being continues to rise with income accelerating past $100,000. So a lot of people was like, oh, my dream salary is $100,000, but it actually was not true. So a dream salary means nothing if you're too stressed, tired, or time poor to spend it on yourself, your friends, or your family. So you gotta make more, make as much as you can to be completely free, because although it was a dream salary for some, their job, it was still taking a lot of the time away from their family, from themselves, and it was still causing a lot of mental health issues. Don't stress yourself out with a job. Never, ever. I come to the realization that as long as you have the job, you have time to plan your escape. And in part three, the toolkit, right? Financial independence isn't a rogue dream; it's a practical goal achieved with specific tools and strategic trade-offs. And this is just the income versus growth trade-off. I've started as a dividend growth investor. Yes, for those who don't know, I started with a 100% dividend growth portfolio, and this was the start of me realizing how important investing is. Uh, you guys do your study. Start off with your journey. I know this is a cover call ETF channel, but not everybody starts off straight off with income, right? A lot of people learn investing through buying growth stock or dividend growth stock, which was myself. And then as my journey as I gain more experience going through the journey and realizing where I want to be in life, where life has taken me, um, where the 9 to 5 grind has really, really um, made me think about, my timeline. Like dividend growth, I would have had to work to at least minimum like 50, 55. And I was like, oh man, that is kind of long. I don't want to work an extra 25 years. I don't want to do that. So I just started, digging, doing a little bit more research. All right, so growth, all right, I got to do it 25 years. However, I would have millions by this time, but I have to work to 50, 55. Is that worth my trade-off? And then I looked into high income cover calls, which I'm doing right now. I am no longer I'm no longer with growth. I'm no longer with dividend growth stocks. I'm 100% in high income cover call ATFs, right? So I want that high immediate paycheck. However, the trade-off is that it caps partial upside, right? So I'm trading that future growth for cash today, so I can actually have money to spend, invest whatever I want. That way I can get out of the 9 to 5. And I will probably be able to get out of the 9 to 5 within the next 3 to 5 years. So that is something I'm aiming for. That's my goal. And that's what's keeping me on the grind right now. Right? That's my motivation, as much stressful as it is. Right? So I don't want to be on that grind for more than, 20 20 30 is like I want to actually be gone and away from the grind. So we'll see. Hopefully, this journey, you guys, um, my subscribers, my viewers, hopefully you guys get to experience and come to this journey with me. Um, we'll see what happens in the next 5 years. And hopefully, part four, I will be living a new life. I did live that new life for a little while. In my early 20s, I had a passive income of about $3,000 to $4,000 a month, and I didn't have a job because I just wanted to take a small break, and that really helped me realize how free I was without having to worry about bills that much. But I realized $3,000 to $4,000 wasn't enough. There was a comment here on one of my videos how or why I was aiming for $120,000. And it's like, why is that? Why $120,000? Isn't $10,000 a little too much? And it's a lot, but it's not a lot for me. All right, it's I like to live. I want to live the lifestyle of having a nice car, eating out every single day. Right, I don't want to worry about doctor visits. I want to live in a nice area. Right, if I travel or if I want to retire in like I'm choosing a random country, but if I wanted to retire in like Japan or Thailand, I want to live in a nice high-rise area with all the amenities, right? I don't want to have to stress about it. And I think $10,000 for me, right? Talking about me, $10,000 a month is like the starting minimum point. I would like $30,000 a month. That would be the solid. Okay, I'm good. I don't need any more. Um, that's my like FU money. But $10,000 is my minimum. I think that is a good starting point. Again, for me, some people are okay with $3,000 to $4,000 a month. I did experience that, that small short retirement when I was living on my income because I didn't have a job. I just want to take a break, and it really showed me the freedom that was like I never want to work again. Never. It was the freest time of my life without any worries. Wake up whenever I want, go to sleep whenever I want, and that was the best. And yeah, I think I would need at least almost triple that so I can actually not have to worry about, and that would be my new life, right? The goal isn't just to stop working; is to reclaim your health, time, health, and purpose. All right, this data shows all or nothing is a false choice. And what I mean by that is just the effective dose of work, right? A Cambridge study of 7,000 people found the 40-hour work provide zero and incremental mental health benefits over 8 hours. Working 1 day a week reduced mental health problems by 30%. And I don't mean by like I'll never stop working. I will stop the 9 to 5 grind, but I will work in a way that like making YouTube videos, right, or doing something, or making these educational videos. Um, that would be like my work, I guess. I'll be doing it because I would be doing it for fun, and I would be doing it because I want to, not because I need it for survival. So, um, always do some type of work because it will give you purpose in life. You always got to find some type of purpose, right? Not just go out and get blacked out drunk every single day. Um, that's just gonna lead to other sorts of problems, right? Besides health, that's gonna absolutely destroy your mental health. Right, so I don't know. I might do some type of I might stay on this investment journey if it gets enough traction, if people actually like it, and they and you guys actually give the views, comments, and subscribe and the likes, and you guys actually are intrigued on how I reached my journey and going beyond. Because at $120,000 a year, once I reach my goal, hopefully within the next 2 years, my next goal will probably be 150, 175. Um, I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I might stop at 300. I might stop at $30,000 a month. But if I reach $100,000 a month, I will start like semi-retired and not giving a damn about my work. But at $30,000, I think I would be fully um living my life in a way, like without any sorts of stress or care for the big things like mortgage, bills. But when I get to 10,000, we'll talk about that. I'll make a video on that, and hopefully you guys are watching. Hopefully it's been already 23 minutes in the video. If you guys are still here, I hope you guys are still going to be on my journey through my investment. This video is just me ranting, and I just feel like this Sunday it shouldn't be a financial video, just more of a personal one-on-one talking, one-on-one ranting. All right, it's just this one was more of my thoughts of why I've kind of um got out of the 9 to 5, right? From tired of like the why, the frustration. I was tired of the commute, tired of the stress, tired of the micromanagement, like really really crappy bosses, tired of the 1% raises, even though you definitely put more than 1% extra of your work, right? Of you went above and beyond. I was just tired of asking for permission of these days I can take off, and these doctor visits, and time off for to do something for my family, my friends. And I was just tired of missing life. I just felt like there was more to life than just staying in a cubicle, right? I mean, it's depressing. It's depressing. And then I just worked to, and then my plan was to towards working towards financial independence, working towards buying back my time, right? Pay yourself first, give yourself the raise, right? Working towards building passive income. Why wouldn't you, even if your job isn't to leave the 9 to 5, why would you not want a second income, right? Just in case something does happen to you. Not getting laid off, but let's just say something medically happens to you and you have to be off work from 90 days and the work only pays you 30 days. What happened to the next 2 months, right? Work towards a life of autonomy, right? I want to be my own boss. I want to live life on my own terms. I want to do things my way, right? When working towards my passion, right? One of the passion right now is, I think, making these YouTube videos. I enjoy it. I like making educational videos and just documenting my journey, because perhaps there are people that are doing the same, and they might leave a comment and really change my view on how I should try to tweak my gear towards buying certain things to help stabilize my goal, or just introduce me to better investments, better cover call ETFs that I've never heard of, right? And then working towards my new life. I don't want to be that. My new life in a way is not like new life literally, right? New life as in, I don't want to be stuck in that rat race system, that traditional hard thinking, the boomer mindset in a way, right? The Gen X mindset. And no offense to anybody watching that's a boomer or Gen X. It's just, as a millennial, I think that 40-year game plan of working just doesn't work anymore. So yeah, that's it. That was my video. This is the last slide. I forgot to add subscribe, comment, and like, but please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Catch you guys on the next.